What up, people?
What's going on, everybody?
We're back. It's been a little while. Had a little bit of a layoff. We do apologize. We missed a couple episodes there, but we were preparing for the finale, and we were preparing to bring you a better us.
Yes, as you saw, or you haven't seen yet.
No, they haven't seen it.
They haven't seen it
Well,
yet.
they'll see it.
Just make believe I didn't say anything right there.
No, they're going to see it because it's going to come before we start talking. So they will see it. It's going to play.
So you're going to see it.
It's going to play, and then we're going to be like, hey, do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how we're going to do it?
What do you mean? That's how it's usually. It's an intro, and then we're talking. No? Maybe?
Maybe.
All depends on the master editor.
The worst rant ever.
The master editor does things.
Yes.
Matt.
No. I'm going to lead off with this because
has something to
we
talk
are
about.
going to veer off completely track.
Completely track?
Yeah, that made sense.
Veer off
Our
track completely.
Whatever.
Uh-huh.
Whatever it is, we're not on the same.
Whatever
road.
it is, Matt is veering.
There's a problem that we need to bring to light, and this goes for guys and girls alike. Background: 9 months ago, I entered the dating pool again, and the game has changed, apparently. Before I met my ex, I used a dating website, and everything was fine. Met some cool people, never worked out. Cool. Now, you have cell phones with quick apps where you swipe a little finger and you see a little picture, you talk for a little bit, then you meet the person. There is a problem when the picture does not remotely look even close to the person. This is the problem being catfished. This has recently happened to me, and I just want to say, what the fuck? Because it wasn't even close. It was like night and day. And she may watch this, so lesson learned. It was like a foot taller and a few pounds heavier, which is okay, but be honest about it. Like, it would have went totally different had you just been honest about it. And I think that I'm not going to go into the whole story because it's kind of crazy.
It's very crazy. It's absurdly crazy. The stories that I've heard, it's a 12 out of 10. It's a 20. It's a 20. It's a 20.
It was nuts. So, if you're not this person and you're honest, this has nothing to do with you. If you're the douchebag, guy and girl alike, that decides they're gonna fool somebody into getting a date, then try to roofie them into a next date, like, stop right now, go to your toilet bowl and drown yourself. Because it's gotta stop. It's gotta stop, because this is actually the second time it's actually happened to me. And my good friend Chris and my good friend Natalie, which she's gonna watch this and be so thankful and grateful that I'm saying, Natalie, thank you. You were 100% correct. I am now stopping this. But for those who want to keep using it, like I said, don't be a douchebag. Just be honest. The person that you end up with will be the person that likes you for who you are. And that's all I'm going to say. Stop the catfish bullshit.
Yeah.
And we're back to our regular broadcasting. Thank you.
Whew. I so wish that one day we can just sit and maybe tell that story, but with like different characters, like Joe and Anne. Joe and Anne. The story of Joe and Anne.
If somebody watches this and want to hear the story, then we will do a separate video on the story alone. But this may have to be locked down, and so it's only adults, I guess you can say.
Yes.
Yes.
Adults that like to hear stories of extreme absurdness.
All right. So that's over. Sorry I went for that rant. I've been holding that in for so long, for the past 2 weeks, and I had to get it out. Veer away from the douchebaggery, be honest, and everybody will be good. No more duck faces, no more Photoshop editing, no more mile-high photos, just straight up. Just straight up. That's all we want. That's all we want. Right?
Honesty is the
Not
best
paying
policy.
attention.
No, honesty is the best policy. What? Not paying attention.
I wish I could grab this
Honesty
camera right now.
is the best. Honesty is the best policy, and I can do two things at once.
I'm a terrible multitasker. So.
Being dishonest in that
situation?
being dishonest in that situation,
In that hurricane?
it is so. It can ruin somebody. It can ruin somebody in many ways, and it doesn't have to be the person who's getting catfished, because the person who gets catfished could be a vindictive mother effer.
Yes.
And really,
Yeah.
and really just splatter that person's image everywhere, do a bunch of things. But you haven't. You've taken the high road.
Nope.
And you just want to air out your laundry.
Just need to air it out. I'm not using names. I'm not using anything like that. But when the person looks like they, weigh 130 pounds, maybe, think they're 5'7", and then you see them and they cast a shadow over you and they block out the sun, there is a serious problem and something went wrong with your camera filter.
All right. You good?
I'm good now.
All right. Thank you for taking part of that. We hope you enjoyed that section of the show. We have a very pressing issue to get to.
Yes.
Who died? We all know what happened in episode 13 to 14. That's why we're going straight to 15. 13 to 14, each show. And you know what? I love The Walking Dead. And I love every one of our followers. I love seeing all your input that we get every day, the memes. You guys are amazing in what you do. Blow me away and Matt away about what we do as far as memes and like whatever. Some of the stuff you guys come up with is just
hilarious.
Yeah, you guys are
the best.
You guys are just, you're light years ahead of us as far as I'm concerned. But just the last episodes, I felt like the material that we got in a 1 hour show all came down to 10 minutes.
Yes.
13, 14, and 15.
So that's why this episode probably is not going to be that long, which is good because you can go on with your day.
Exactly. We'll get it lickety split for you.
Yes.
So we all know what happened in 13 to 14, which brought us to 15. 15, in my eyes...
Wait, a penis was bit off and someone was shot in the eye.
True, penis was bit off.
Those were the high points.
Dwight is now just white because he lost his D.
Oh, God. Dude, can you imagine... I know we weren't going to focus on it, but I've
been kicked in the nuts. I've been punched in the nuts. Thankfully, I've never been bitten in the nut area anywhere.
I mean, like,
I've had my arm bitten.
Yes, but imagine he went through jeans. He went through maybe if he had boxers on, briefs, he went through that, and he straight up removed said penis.
I don't think he removed it. I didn't see a hole in the pants.
Dude, there was enough blood there. I mean, it's pretty much insinuated that. But if you get the talinackle was gone.
Listen, if you get your penis bit off, and now in today's time, you got a severe chance of bleeding to death if you don't get to the hospital fast enough. So if he bit his penis off, he'd be dead.
Can they stitch that back on?
Sure. What's his name? Bobbitt. That dude Bobbitt, his chick cut it off.
He's got like a Frankenstein.
Like threw it in the yard. Remember?
He's got a Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's got little bolts in it holding it in.
Oh god,
Oh Jesus!
Oh my god, can you imagine? The surprise on that woman's face. I want to talk about catfish.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we had that situation, and then Denise got reverse penetration with the arrow that took out her eye. You know, and it's, you know,
totally caught me off guard.
Yeah, it caught everybody off my guard. If you follow the comic book, Abraham was supposed to be the one that got that arrow. Mm-hmm. And they diverted, which is fine because Denise was just a cog in the puzzle. You know what I mean? She wasn't she was, you know, replaceable. You know what I mean? Like, it made an opening for them to now get Maggie to Hilltop, where in the comics Maggie actually ends up running Hilltop at one point. She becomes like the person who runs Hilltop.
Foreshadowing, maybe?
Well, yeah, they're trying to get her there. In 15. You have this, I call it cat and mouse. I'm like, there's this cat and mouse game. You know, they're trying to avoid this confrontation with the Saviors. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Rick was riding this really, I want to say he was kind of cocky. You know, he's running this real cocky kind of attitude thing. You know, do you want this to be your last day on Earth kind of thing? And,
yeah.
You know, as they kept trying to reroute and divert and do all this stuff, you know, you could tell that he started getting more increasingly worried, especially as Maggie's health started declining. Mm-hmm. You know, so it just that whole show though, I kind of felt cheated a little bit in material. I was just, you know, is this going to be the whole show? Mm-hmm. We're driving around in an RV, we're making U-turns.
I mean, the tension progressively got more and more, and you felt it. Yeah, like it started off with just a car blockade, mm-hmm. and then what was the second? Do you remember what the second scenario? It was another blockade, but there was more people there.
Yeah.
Then there was
the one with the zombies.
And then there was the trees. But the zombies they figured out that the Saviors actually
chained them up and put them there. And a lot of people were confused too. We talked about this.
Well, they also kidnapped Michonne and everybody.
Well, they kidnapped. Yeah. Daryl, Glenn, mm-hmm. and Michonne, and they actually cut some of Michonne's dreads out mm-hmm. and like put them on a zombie's head.
Mm-hmm. Daryl's vest.
Mm-hmm. You know, something from Glenn. I can't remember what it was, but you know, it kind of like plant a seed in their head to like, you know, we got your people, mm-hmm. which they didn't know going into that. And then, you know, as this is all happening, you have a side note with Carol and Morgan. You know, Morgan goes, he's on a horse now. He's got a horse.
Morgan?
Yeah. Please. Still a douche in my eyes.
Love him. My boy, Blue.
He tracks down Carol. Carol tells him to go away. Puts a gun on his face. Basically says, get away from me. I'm going to blow your brains out.
Yeah, but she put it down.
Yeah, I know. But
she's starting to love him a little bit.
Yeah. I guess. So she disappears, you know, totally disappears on him. He goes and chases her. The dude who survived from the previous episode who got shot in the back has been walking this whole time.
I completely forgot about him.
Yeah. Well, the arm shoots her in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh god.
Morgan gets there in time right before he's about to, you know, put the final bullet in her and tells the guy, you know, gives him an option. And you know, the guy's like, no, and he went to go shoot Carol, and thankfully Morgan did what he's there to do, not this all life is precious bullshit. So thankfully he used the gun
that Rick
gave him,
He almost didn't take it. He almost didn't.
I know.
Take it.
So thankfully, he took that gun from Rick, and he did what he had to do.
I just want to backtrack 1 second to a totally incredible scene by Carol with the Mega Man arm with the machine gun, and she starts crying like, "Don't make me kill you," and they're laughing at her. Then all of a sudden, a Gatling gun goes off, and then 8 people are dead, and her hand is smoking. Like,
yeah. I was just waiting for like that Dirty Harry moment where she raises her hand and is like, yeah,
right?
You know, like a little robot sound.
I don't have words for how awesome that was.
It was good stuff. I mean, yeah.
I just had to bring that out because that was just Carol in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That was what she does, and she's amazing.
And that's the thing I think that worries her the most is she knows that's who she is. That's who she's had to become.
Yeah.
You know, and I like we talked about this. Like I can get like when you're in that daily, everyday life, and you know you have to take lives, and whether they're alive or dead, you have to kill. You know, like yeah, I would imagine that becomes mentally taxing after a while, and you just want to break from it. Like you don't want that to be a part of your life anymore. You know, I can understand that, but when you're fighting for the greater good and you have a family, even if it's not your real family, and you have your family, you know, there has to be, you can have an on and off switch, but you can't just have an off switch. You can't. You can't even be by yourself and have that off switch.
See, but Rick is in full on mode. Like he totally embraced, and I think he loves the fact that that's what they bring to the table as far as trading goes.
Right.
Is if you need someone killed, we'll kill him.
Right.
If you need something dangerous done, we can do it because we just don't care.
See, but I think Michonne was starting to pull him away from that a little bit. I mean, I think that she was starting to reel him in a little. You know, when they first went to Hilltop to talk, you know, and have to negotiate and stuff like that, there was a few times where like he looked at her,
right,
and she would, you know, give him the nod. You know what I mean? So I feel like she was starting to really take that place as the woman in his life. That's like that Herschel kind of voice. You know what I mean? And I even tweeted to Herschel because you know it was like hashtag 6 words of something, 6 words of God, of The Walking Dead or something like that. So you got to tweet 6 word phrase, you know, about
of what you thought of it.
It was like basically like 6 words to describe like, you know, The Walking Dead kind of thing.
Okay.
You know, and I forgot what he tweeted, but I tweeted like back. I said, you know, it was something like we all miss having Herschel, you know, and kind of thing. And like, I said it in like 6 words.
Right.
But it's like I think we all can agree we miss Herschel because he and Maggie I think is trying to step into that role of like, you know, her father's voice, you know, and you know, I just he was always that voice of reason for Rick.
She has that same calming presence. Like whenever she speaks or is trying to diffuse a situation, she has that same calm presence, which took her a while to get.
Yeah.
Because she started going over the deep end, but once she talked to, what was that woman's name?
Deanna.
Yep. She kind of settled into that role.
And in being pregnant, you know, like it becomes a different story altogether. You know. So we
got sidetracked again.
Yeah, you know, it's all right.
It was like 5 minutes of just going backwards. Anyways, we were at. That's my bad.
Yeah. So yeah, we were at the cat and mouse game where they're driving around. You know, they finally come to their last roadblock, where it was this is just such a bad decision. I mean, I understand Eugene is trying to pull his weight and to try to prove himself, but giving that man that RV by himself in the middle of the night and expecting him to do something wondrous is just a bad idea. I like Eugene. I do. I think
respect his newfound bravery, I guess
exactly.
You could say.
Like the whole thing about finding a place to produce and make bullets. Awesome. Great, you know, like that's awesome. You know, like that was a great find. That's great thinking. You know, and that's trying to preserve your people and give you guys a fighting chance and something to barter with. You know, but just you can't give him that amount of responsibility yet. He's just not ready for it. And
Yep.
and later on we find out that, now basically they have this idea of having someone take the RV because they don't know how many people are in it, and the rest of them are walking through the midnight pitch black darkness of Georgia backwoods, carrying Maggie on a stretcher. What?
I mean,
What?
desperation does crazy things, and that was a desperate moment, and in my mind wasn't terrible because they got off the main road, and you would think you're in the middle of the woods, they're not going to find us, and all of a sudden you hear whistling. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, they're in the random spot. I understand they were leading them when they were driving. They were trying to make them go certain ways. But they got out of the car and walked randomly through the woods.
And right into Negan's
Camp.
and the Savior's, right into like what they wanted. Basically, they made Rick do everything he didn't want to do. And now the car lights come on. And they're in the middle of a spotlight, and they see, I don't even think that's all of the Saviors, but they see the enormity of that group. And it's like, the 7 of them surrounded by, I don't even know how many,
It had to be
50 to
yeah.
100 people.
Yeah.
It just, not a good.
And I think the writers set it up perfectly, because we've been waiting for this moment since the beginning of the season, basically. I mean, some people didn't know who he was when we first started talking about him, but eventually built up to it. They did it perfectly. Basically, what was that guy's name? The penis list?
Oh, Dwight.
Dwight. Was it him who said, "This is the moment you've been waiting for"? And then he walked over, and then Negan came out. It might have been the second guy in command.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was Dwight.
Yeah. I thought that was perfect. I thought they couldn't have done it any better, because it was like the climax of the moment. They kind of hesitate a little bit, and then this dude comes out, and immediately my heart starts to race, because that was like shit just got real.
Yeah.
And he had Lucille out already.
Well, yeah, I mean, he had her,
baseball bat with barbed wire, and
right.
I don't know. It was a tense moment, and right off the jump.
It was collectively Twitter exploded. Here comes Negan.
Yep.
And it was. Listen,
I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared.
I don't think anybody was, and the overall outcry was, no, we're not ready.
Yeah.
He made what they had claimed the whole time, is that Negan's entrance was going to be one of the best written entrances ever. Now, I had a few complaints for this episode, and one of the many ones was the effing commercial breaks. I was so irate with the amount of commercial time that was played for a 90-minute season finale. It was absurd. It was uncalled for. At one point I literally I tweeted, "Is AMC broke? Are you guys out of funding? Are you broke? Like, do you guys have one of the top watched TV shows on cable, number one all the time? Are you broke?
Right.
That you need to play this insane amount of commercials?"
You told me this, and I'm so glad that I waited till the next day.
I was at work, I had no other choice.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm at work and I'm like, I'm not gonna miss the finale,
Right.
But at the same time, I almost wish I did, because I just came home and I watched the 90-minute finale in, I don't know, 55 minutes.
That's why I'm glad I waited.
Yeah, it was terrible, and it was a collective agreement. I mean, people.
Oh, I'm sure.
I
was trying to avoid it during the day, but we kept getting hits on the tweet, like on Twitter, and I had a look, and then that was one of the first things I saw was the complaints about the commercials.
Terrible. There's just no reason for it in my eyes.
Right.
You can't have are you becoming the Super Bowl of TV shows?
Basically.
You know, where people are paying you millions of dollars to play a 30-second ad? Because if that's the case, all right, maybe it's okay. You know, but at the same time, it's not okay. It's not okay. Enough about the commercials.
Yes. So gripe number 2?
Gripe number 2 was they really... It's after 10 o'clock at night, okay, on a Sunday night. Negan appears with 10 minutes left in the show, so it's 10:20 at night on a Sunday night.
Yes.
Let him fly. Why are we holding him back from all the cursing and all the aggressiveness that he comes with? And I can't even get one fuckity fuck out of him.
There's going to be no beeps in this one, sorry.
But it's true, and everyone, like, you can't edit this guy. If you're going to do that to his character, you don't even have Negan. You have a TV version, PG-13.
I think it was, once again, I think it was the buildup of this. You knew what you were going to expect. The people who looked at the comics, researched the character, knew what they were going to expect. But it took time for it to come out, and it comes out later on.
I don't think so, man.
I think the sociopath comes out.
Yeah.
The complete disregard for human life comes out. And he almost snaps at certain times because you could see his short fuse when Glenn has his outburst, and I think it was all just for the build-up.
You know what? I hope so.
I think come next time, he had a few. Didn't he said shit somewhere?
But I mean, he is so vulgar and so. Maybe you know what? I don't care if you have to move this show from 9 o'clock to 10.
Yeah.
To give us the character for the next season to 2 seasons that he's going to be around.
Is it? You think of 2 seasons? You think?
I think. Well, yeah, it'd definitely go through season 7.
I don't know how extensive the character was.
Through season 7 and at least into season 8, he's going to be around. I would imagine. I don't know how fast you're going to go through it, but he should be around for at least 2 seasons.
Right.
In what capacity, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But, but yeah, man, loosen up the reins, man. Let him go. Let him go.
I see what you're saying, and as a fan of it,
and it's cable TV.
Yeah, I get why they didn't do it, because you saw you almost thought that he was gonna be a nice guy, and say, you know what, you killed a bunch of our guys, maybe we can come to an agreement. But then he said you're gonna pay for it. And then the psycho starts coming out.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do. Because if not, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. Not to mention that the collective disappointment of having a cliffhanger.
Well, from that moment when they were all put on their knees, obviously you saw Rick, his face, he looked defeated.
Defeated and
defeated.
Petrified.
Yeah. For the first time you saw genuine fear in the fact that there was nothing he could do. Daryl's not going to save you. Abraham's not going to save you. Glenn's not going to save you. Nobody. Everybody, all the key characters who had their moments of, jumping in right in the nick of time were all vulnerable at that very second, and the suspense was incredible.
Yeah. Glenn
has his outburst once he's talking to Maggie. Rick has his outburst when didn't he flip out a little bit when the guy was talking to Carl?
Oh yeah, he tells him that's enough. Basically, he's like that's enough. Stop.
Those are the parts that I'm talking about, that you could see him flipping that switch to psycho mode, and was pretty much you're gonna pay for it if you do that again.
Yeah. I just
So.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What just happened?
I don't know. I have no idea. So I guess we're going with this audio and not this, because this just went.
So hopefully you can still hear us right now.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they can. Might sound a little different. Something happened as we were recording. But this is what happened. You do a live podcast. It's like doing live TV.
I so want to Negan the crap out of this laptop right now. I want to smash this.
You touched one. Yep. So we're okay. So they leave us with a cliffhanger. They leave us all wondering who got Lucille'd.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their ideas. Everyone has their theories. We're going. Myself personally, I'm going with Glenn. That they stuck to the comic book, and I'm saying that my dark horse would be Abraham. And the reason why is when I watched that episode and I watched it again and I watched it again, just the ending. Abraham displayed practically zero fear. When you look at his face, he didn't look scared. He didn't look intimidated.
Yeah.
He didn't look like anything that Negan wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
And even at one point when he's walking around and you see him with that bat, there's a point where he's got the bat and he's pointing at everybody, and you can actually see Abraham as he's on his knees.
And he
stares at him, and he kind of like looks at him and like, okay, I'm not scared of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm ready, for anything you could dish out. Like, almost accepting, like, yeah, go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
So I'm 60-40 on that. I'm 60% Glenn, 40% Abraham. And if I were to go third option, put me on the spot because I haven't really thought of one. But if I wanted to, I'd say Sasha.
Really?
Yeah, because she was one of the.
Say something else.
She was one of the other characters that she showed fear, but not like not like holy shit, I'm scared.
Right.
I
think I agree with Glenn, and I agree with Abraham for the points that you made.
Right.
And there was a certain clip that I had found.
Yep.
That they played it. I guess it was in slow motion, and they kind of faded out.
A lot of background noise.
Right. You had your sound, and you hear Negan, but behind that, you can hear that audio. And in that audio, you can hear, after the first shot hits whoever, you hear somebody say, Mag. Almost, and it was in Glenn's voice. And after that, everybody was screaming, hold on. You hear Maggie screaming
Glenn.
Glenn in the background. And it's there. Like, it sounds exactly like it. And then even after the second shot hit and the screen goes black and you're assuming that, this game's over, you hear Carl in the background saying, he said no.
Yeah.
And it's just, and Maggie again. That I'm convinced, I'm more like 90-10 that it's Glenn.
Right.
Just based off of that one clip alone.
Yeah.
My wild card, I would say Daryl. That's my wild card.
Yeah.
Because Daryl's messed up, and
see, but that
he's not looking too good.
The way that Negan works, he obviously Negan wants people to, like he said, I want people to work for me. I want people to do work for us. So I need you alive. I don't want to kill anybody.
That's the part I thought he was going to be like.
Right.
Gentle with them, almost, I guess you could say. Like, you'll pay it back in some other way. Right. But
no, I mean, he, that's just who he is, and had to do that, example, if you want to call it. So, other than that with the show and where we're at, we had the introduction of the Kingdom, which was the guys you saw riding the horses, wearing the armor. That's going to be a great gathering going into season 7. I don't want to do any spoilers because there's a lot of people out there who might not follow the comic books, and people that do. But if you want to know about it, they're called the Kingdom. You can Google it. You can look into it. If you want to see a little bit of what's coming up, it's going to be awesome. There's going to be a tiger involved. It's going to be a black guy with white dreads involved. Nice. It's going to be crazy, and it's literally going to be. It's called war. That's what they're going into. They're going into the next phase, which is war. Yeah. Because Rick is not happy. He's definitely going to be more psycho. If we thought Rick has been psycho, which all of us have been like, holy shit, Rick's psycho.
Wait a second. There's another level to this?
Rick has a whole... Anybody watch Dragon Ball Z? He went from level 10,000 to like God Saiyan. Yep. He's gonna go to God Saiyan.
Super Saiyan level 3.
Yeah, just God Saiyan, like blue hair.
God Saiyan.
So
that's awesome.
And then, and it's going to be amazing, and we're all going to be happy once the next 6 months go by. We're still going to be here. We're going to do Fear the Walking Dead, which starts this coming Sunday, which should be great. I'm hoping, it looks good so far in the commercial, so I'm hoping they do a great job at that.
Yeah.
And then, we're going to start posting some stuff on Twitter. We want to know what you'd like to see. We have, real quick, between Matt and I, we on our page, if you look at our page, it says that, we watch the show, we talk about, zombie apocalypse, we do survival, we do all sorts of stuff and everything like that. We want to start doing little clips for you guys, for the ladies, maybe some maybe some like self-defense tips that can help you guys out, a little bit of a training thing that you guys could learn. Scenario stuff, and now that the weather's getting nicer out here in New York, we'll start filming and doing some stuff outside and have a little bit more fun. And things like that. It'll be
entertaining.
Yes, stuff and things.
That's for sure.
Things and stuff. Winners, and I said winners.
Oh, we have deuces.
We actually, I did some tallying, and it was really, really close. But we don't shortchange anybody. All right. We love you guys. We have come so much further than we thought we'd ever be, and honestly, this might seem petty to a lot of people, but to us this is not petty. We're currently at 451 followers, and I'm blown away. We do our best to thank every one of our followers. We do our best to interact with you guys, and I'm more than happy to be sending you guys our Beazt shirts that we had made up. This is our very first prototype that we came up with. There it is. On the back, it has what the acronym means, and you can be part of it. Can you see that?
I'm gonna move.
There it is. You can be part of the Big East Alliance zombie team, and
we're coming out with a few more. We have a few ideas in play.
Yeah. Like I said, we're working on
out logo stuff like that.
Bigger, better, and bigger and better.
Yep.
So our winners, we'll do this real quick. Our winners are going to be Stephanie at Rita's Fan 2.
Yeah.
And then it says Anita Hearts The Walking Dead. Her Twitter handle. Her Twitter handle is at ARAE underscore The Walking Dead. And then we have one more. We have 3 winners.
You shitting me?
I swear to God. It is, as soon as I find it, oh boy. It's going to be Haley at the WD Girl, The Walking Dead Girl.
Wait a second, is that what she actually looks like?
I don't know. I'm going to say that's a real live picture. Haley, if you're single, Matt would like to DM you.
Swipe right.
Yeah.
Swipe right.
So, listen, if you guys, obviously, we're going to tag everybody.
Yes.
You know that I have an extreme amount of work ahead of me to do, getting all these people.
Everybody on this, we cannot thank you enough.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Go ahead.
Chris said this took off. We were excited when we had 10 followers.
Yeah.
50, we were texting each other as the countdown would go up. To have this is just amazing, and the majority of the people do interact with us, which is awesome.
Yeah, we love it.
Which is great.
We love it. We love interacting with you guys, and we like giving back whatever we can. So what I need you 3 winners to do is when you see this and you hear that your name was announced, please DM me your address. And we have the shirts here ready. I need your address and the size you would like. We'll throw them in the mailbox and get them out to you ASAP.
Yes.
So once again, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Want to show everybody my Walking Dead shirt? Wore it just for the finale. Huh? What do you guys think? What do you think? It's pretty cool. Right? I know. Doing it. And
it's better than you flexing.
I'll take it off.
Dude, no.
I'll take it off.
We're not doing this.
If you want me to take it off next episode,
we're not doing
tweet, take it off.
We're not doing this.
Take it off. Take it off. We love you.
Everybody, thank you. Peace out.
Peace, mode.